Today on Gamer's Couch,
Escape the Room, Mystery at the Stargazer's Manor.
Hello and welcome to the Gamer's Couch. That is the gaming table. Before we start,
Our couch is not our table.
Yeah,
it's... Welcome to
have a tiny bit of imagination there.
Welcome to the couch in the back of the shot.
Yeah,
kind of.
Right. So
you may sit there while we sit at the table, because you're like little children. You have to sit on a different table than ours, on the other end of the internet, the children's table of YouTube.
Awesome.
You were about to say something.
Yeah, thank you. Two very quick housekeeping things. For one, if I was unable to delete the AC's voice pattern in post-up in its totality, I'm very sorry about that, but we gotta have it running, otherwise we cannot record this episode. It's way too hot over here, hence the fan and the AC there, but yeah, we have a heat wave, so sorry if the background noise is kind of disturbing or blah this time around. Second thing, we are not spoilering at all, so we don't need the second camera because there's very little things that we can show you. Actually, it's only the things that you see when you open the box of Escape the Room. So no spoilers.
That was kind of our thing where, I mean, you're going to see the same stuff that's on the back of the box. So yes. I think that's all right, because this game, probably more than any other game, maybe with the exception of Time Stories or Pandemic Legacy or something like that, is very spoiler heavy.
So excuse for us sometimes talking vague or not showing anything, because we don't want to spoil.
It's not because we're like verbally retarded, saying like things like, and then you do this thing.
Speak for yourself.
And then the thing happens.
Oh, I like the thing, you know.
But then
the thing,
the puzzle.
Yeah. So let's just for all the new subscribers that came to the channel last week. First of all, welcome. Great to have you here. And if you don't know us, this is Daniel, my sweet husband, and I'm Sarah, the artist behind Pinselgeschichten and owner of this channel. And we
also,
like to
where have you been the past 90-something videos?
On the children's table of the internet. We established that.
Okay.
They're a teenager now. If you're
coming to us from Stargazer's Manor and you still try to escape the room, I think we probably can't help you, because that would be a spoiler. But maybe puzzle better something?
Things. Anyway, we will go about the spoiler-free talk of Escape the Room as we go with every game. Likes and no. Blah!
No, we start with how to play this game.
Yeah, rules and gameplay. That's his part to talk about. Then we talk about what we liked and not liked, and finish up with funny stories and experiences and a tiny teaser for the next draw for initiative. Baby, while I work this hand fan here to get some cool air,
quietly,
do the talking.
Quietly, please.
Yes, I will not talk.
Closer to the nose.
No, I didn't.
Closer.
Why, I'm hurting myself so often with... Don't even... Yeah. Talk.
The time... Sorry. Stardate 1869. These are the voyages of you in your living room trying to get out because of the heat wave. Almost.
Not succeeding so
Almost. Far. So this is Escape the Room. If you're not at all familiar with the concept of room escape or stuff like that, it's actually quite simple. I'm pretty sure that had its origin in a couple of video flash internet games that kind of set you out in rooms where you have to escape through the means given to you in the room, and usually there's different puzzles hidden, and sometimes you have to solve a puzzle to find the next puzzle, to find the next key that enables the next puzzle, and at some point the door opens, and that's kind of where the game ends.
I think the game, I just remembered back in the 90s, I think the game came from MacGyver. And somebody saw that show and thought, we're gonna make it a game.
I do remember actually, and that could have
With
possibly
chewing gum
been
and-
like the first Escape the Room game, or I think it was almost Japanese themed or something.
Really? Oh, I was just... Yeah, okay, sorry.
And nothing to do with MacGyver in this case. So obviously there's, over the past couple of years, certainly as a phenomenon, like escape rooms set up, which are buildings or rooms set up by hosts that kind of, where you can rent them for a session where you and a group, or you and a group of your friends, try to escape the room, usually on a timer where it says, now, okay, you have maybe an hour or two to escape the room, and they kind of reset the room. And it's usually very thematic. It's like either from a horror movie, or maybe you escape the bakery of all. German lesson of the day. You can just, if you just want to German it away, you just throw in your casual obwohl instead of the although, which sounds like obwohl on its head, but it's not. Anyhow, however, is the other way to say obwohl. Jedenfalls, Escape the Bakery is not available close to here, so maybe that's something. Maybe I just gave you a terrific business idea. Or maybe don't escape the bakery because
Escape
of
the
pastries. No, this is not how it works.
Sorry.
So, trying to deliver that feeling of escaping the room, which with our current weather conditions certainly has its appeal. Escape the Room, this box just released.
Make an effort.
Released in Germany, and my understanding is that it's out for a couple of weeks or months, maybe in the US by Think Fun. So this is an event game, meaning you are going to play it once, and then that's it. We already played it. That's why all our stuff looks very thin, because we kind of removed all the things from the boxes in here. So this says ages 10 and up, 3 to 8 players, although there's actually no real player count in the game, and it's certainly a suggestion similar to the age rating. And it says it's about 90 minutes, which is surprisingly apt because it's a game on a timer. You have to escape the room, so this is kind of the maximum amount of time you're probably going to take for that. Actually, I might be wrong. I don't actually recall. Did I set the clock to 90 minutes or to 2 hours?
90.
And about 90 minutes depending on actually player size. So it says 6 to 8 players, it's 90 minutes. For 3 to 5 players, you get 2 hours of time to escape the room. And that's pretty much everything you're getting in terms of, well, preparation or setup, because you as the host are also trying to escape the room, so you have no advantageous knowledge over this. There's some thematic suggestions coming with that, like, hey, this is playing in the 1869s, maybe everybody should wear a weird hat, or
a costume of some sort,
or a costume that
have accessories
that has a smell reminding you of 1869, or
sewage.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry.
But the idea being, since this is almost, well, at least here in Germany, the price of 2 cinema tickets, well, depending on the cinema you go to, and if it's 3D and stuff, but this sorry, I didn't want to startle you with sounds, but this is about $20 around here, and you get a cinema ticket for something between 10 and 15, depending on where you go to the cinema.
And you only go to the cinema once, usually, for a movie.
That's kind of why I draw up that comparison. If at this point you're already saying, wait, what? I'm paying $20 to only play this once? This is never going to happen. I totally feel you. This is probably not for you. So this is kind of like those dinner mystery games, kind of group puzzle games where you as a group try to work your way through those puzzles, have bits of story sprinkled in there to set the mood and the theme, and also give you a couple of hints in there. So there is a manual that comes with the game, and what I've just told you is pretty much what the manual also tells you, and that's it. There's not a lot of information in here except for get comfortable, buy padlocks to actually keep the people in the room, or make it interesting by serving poison and then promising the antidote only if they successfully go through the puzzle. Some of these suggestions might be my suggestions and not actually endorsed by the game. Maybe all of them are my suggestions. So all you will find in this game is a sheet of paper with text on it, which I just briefly showed. No, this is actually loose in here. This is the introductory text that settles everybody into the room, and once everybody is ready to go, you start the timer, and then you have to solve the puzzles. With the game come a couple of envelopes that look like these. I don't want to have my finger on her eye, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this. And supposedly each of these envelopes are objects in the room. You are kind of imprisoned. Like this telescope, or you find
a bookshelf,
like a bookshelf, and stuff on there. Obviously, there's other little hints on here. Just as a general idea of what you need to do, there's also this code wheel here, and this is actually what is gating you from proceeding. Now, if you are a strong man like me, nothing will keep you from opening these envelopes. So there's actually a rule that you have to kind of play. You have to go along with the game. You are not allowed to just
no cheating
envelopes unless you want to kind of spoil the fun for you, and that's the thing. Now, the first thing you may notice is that these don't actually give you a concise way of progression, but that will come with the game. It is kind of asking you to make your conclusions, where to proceed to get further with the game. Small thing I want to point out is each of these envelopes, or actually each of the puzzles, has these little icons up here with this color code. So what you want to do is there's corresponding icons on this color wheel, and the game actually does explain that, so I'm just giving you a very brief overlook. With different icons on here. So to check if you actually found the correct solution to the puzzle you are currently trying to solve, you're finding the corresponding symbol on the outer rim or on the outer edge of this thing, and then adjust the wheel, and these looky holes in the center here will tell you if you are actually correct or not. That is probably all I'm going to tell you about the Escape the Room game and how to play it. So, to cut it short, it is essentially 5 envelopes of stuff. There's certainly things in there. There's components in there. I would go so far to say something. This is not just like newspaper clippings or something like that where you have to go through and solve.
There's different kinds of puzzles in there.
I think, and that's already the segue to what we think about the game.
What we like and dislike.
Consider if you are at all familiar with hidden object games or the puzzle games you find, like, for example, the ones PopCap used to put out, or I think Spin Top is
Spin Top.
So it's
no
not
Top Spin, not Spin Top. I was like,
it's Spin Top is the word I think you had to whatever. So it's not like the hidden object game itself, where you have to find objects in a kind of in a picture frame. But some of these games come with these little mini puzzle games in between, and this is kind of like that.
Yeah, the mini games.
At least it is very reminiscent of that. It's a whole set of different small little puzzles, and certainly that is something. And I'm just saying outright, I like about the variety of puzzles.
I did already put in the marker. You can go on talk likes and dislikes.
there's no puzzle being reused in a certain way, which makes it also nice if you actually are playing this with a group of more than a couple of people. Typically, everybody is able to contribute something to the solution of the puzzle, which makes them feel great and earns them their antidote for the poison you've given them.
Yeah. Well, there's several things that I like about... So, for one, I'm the person in this household that is kind of like addicted to hidden object games and match 3 games. These are pretty much the only kind of video games I play or iOS games I play.
But it's safe to say I think you like this particular type of mini puzzle games because you also
I like both of it, like finding the object in a hidden, like in a picture frame, but also the mini games.
Because I think you also...
I played all of the top spin games.
You also enjoyed stuff like Professor Layton, which is pretty close, I think, to the...
very much. So I'm that kind of gamer when it comes to any kind of video or, let's say, digital gaming. So I was really looking forward to this game, and it does feel kind of like those games. However, I have to say up front, if you have a group that is sober, kind of intelligent and adult, this might be a tiny bit too easy for you. If you, however, have kids or you're fairly drunk, this is awesome. It was a bit too easy for me. It was a bit too easy for the setup group that we had. It doesn't mean that we didn't have any fun with it. But having maybe not the coherent, intelligent group is kind of beneficial to it. Or the very young ones, maybe. So if you have kids and want to play with them, this is good.
I think it's a...
This is something.
Our gaming group is probably kind of a really bad choice to test this game again. But I mean, for me,
that was the only thing. But still, it didn't feel like this was wasted time. It was just it's a bit easy for us, but it's cool. So I like the
couple of things, maybe kind of to give you a better idea of what to expect with this. When I explain to you what an escape room is, at least with those types of video games as well as the real escape rooms, you expect that there's you have a room in which you will move and interact with things.
Yeah.
This is not happening here at all.
You don't.
You literally have all the puzzles on the table, and it is more akin to solving a puzzle book with other players sitting at the same table together. Yes, you can do the
I think
fire go to the telescope, but you're not.
There's other escape the room kind of puzzly games that involve stuff from your living room, if I remember correctly, that they are already out or they're supposed to come out soon. But this one here stays at the table and it brings the room with the game, so it's not involving
and
your room pretty much.
I think that has good and bad sides. The good side is
you don't have to clean up.
You as the host are actually able to participate, and you don't need a specific kind of room. I mean,
yes, exactly.
Since video game consoles and virtual reality start defining what your living room should look like, I mean, I wouldn't mind that in a board game. Actually, I was kind of hoping for that, because that would make things interesting. Trying to hide little objects in your gaming room and have people trying to find them. Then again, your argument, you have to clean up.
And if there's people that do not know your living room, if they are pretty new to the group or something, or you're usually just in one area of the room and they don't know if something is at a shelf regularly or if that is the hidden object thing, because it doesn't stand out too much, it takes quite a while. So I actually liked a lot that we stayed at the table, and I would definitely want to try this with our niece and nephew when they're old enough. I think playing playing it with kids is or drunken people and yourself being intoxicated is the perfect way to play this game.
Or maybe someone who
is very new to gaming, maybe.
Or this type of puzzly stuff.
Yeah, but if you're kind of strategic and you're seasoned in these kinds of games, it might be a bit easy for you. However, what I always talk about, because I'm a keen person on that, and I'm having not even said anything about it yet, is artwork and quality of the components. The artwork is cute, not too fancy, it didn't tickle me, but it's executed well, so I did like that. The quality of the components is mediocre, meaning it's very well. No. It's very well done for one play. But if you somehow want to put those components back into the bags and play with somebody else or give it to somebody else, I'd say after game 3 or 4 they might not be as pristine anymore. But I don't think they're supposed to be. This is a game that you were supposed to play once, maybe twice. So I think
I would disagree with that. I mean, yes, the envelopes
are like
a little bit flimsy.
Some pieces in there, not all of them, but some of them were pretty flimsy, and they reminded me of my Eastern German jigsaw puzzles that were not of the greatest.
Because things like this,
but
dial is actually way more sturdy than I would have expected it to be.
I mean, the puzzle components in some of the bags, I was like, oh, this is perfect, very well done for one game, 2 or 3. But number 4, and you know where somebody else put it before, you can see things, it's like maybe not great then. But I think they are not supposed to be handled so many times. Yeah. So I don't mind. I'm just saying, yeah, that's what it is, but I don't think it's a bad thing. You don't need to have the super glossy woohoo kind of a component for a game you play once, right?
I don't want to call it a throwaway game because that would imply, but we actually...
But it's a giveaway game.
You
give it to somebody.
After we finished playing, actually, we said it's almost a shame, component-wise, what's in there in terms of quality for... then ending up just playing it once.
Just amount, or for the amount that is in there. It's just, but we didn't remember all of the components in which bag they were, so we didn't put them back.
But the good news, I think, and that is a plus for me for this game, is there's nothing that enforces you to destroy anything in the components, meaning you will always be able to at least repackage that. Obviously, like with these envelopes, these glue sticky things here will look a little bit worn. I mean, they weren't a barrier in the beginning anyway. So if you actually, unlike us, or I'm pretty sure there's someone online who can give a hint of where goes what in these bags.
Maybe it's even on their site somewhere buried, that once you played it and want to repack it or something.
Yeah, you can certainly reuse it. So I think this is actually pretty good for things like a birthday party, or if you have like a children coming over for a birthday party or something like that,
a summer camp or something like this.
Yeah, I was almost close to say maybe even something like a gaming club in school or something like that. But the group size from 3 to 8, you still want to have small enough the group together around the table to be able to see and interact with all the pieces, so that you can say, hey, why don't you give it a shot to solve this puzzle or that thing? Yeah. There's the thing I did not found, or that kind of disappointed me a little bit, is how linear this game actually ends up being. It is obviously, yes, you solve one puzzle with the next, but in a true escape room, sometimes it's you find stuff that is reused later, or someone is trying to solve one puzzle while someone else is trying to solve another puzzle, and the results of both of them kind of merged together.
Yeah, I would, but I would expect something like that in the adults version. This very much feels like the young family or kids version to me, so I didn't miss it there. But I would have missed it in a more... I don't want to... this is so bad, but in a more sophisticated version of the escape room that is maybe tailored towards definitely adult seasoned gamer groups and not so much family groups. I think the target audience here is young families or kids, and one thing that it definitely teaches, and that came up in my mind when you said a gaming club or something in school, communication. And everybody having a shot at something, nobody's sitting out. So I think for events like that, this game is made for it. Or for maybe siblings that argue all the time. I would have liked to have played it with my brother at a certain time in my life, where we were the typical siblings. So maybe this would have had the friendship aspect in our life a bit earlier, like a couple of years earlier. So I would have liked that, but it's not tailored towards adults.
Also, hot on the heels of our last video, I realized that there's actually quite a lot of folks who really did not like the puzzles, for example, in Mansions of Madness. I think this is close to what these are. There's certainly nothing like the Mastermind puzzle or that code-solving puzzle, but I would say similar to that brick shifting thing.
Yeah, but instead of having a move limit, you have a time limit here, and that time limit didn't feel as harsh, maybe.
It's an overall time limit, so you're never faced with someone saying, and for this task, now you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, no. It's you have that amount of time to solve the whole thing. And sometimes you're quicker and sometimes you're slow with certain puzzles, so you could balance that out, and maybe you feel less stressed than with the puzzles, definitely than with the puzzles of Mansions of Madness, no matter how seasoned you are as a puzzler.
So I would say, from my opinion, to me this feels a little bit like a one-shot scenario similar to Time Stories that you wouldn't replay.
Oops, sorry.
Has a little bit, and I guess that's not, I hope you don't consider this as a spoiler, but it has a little bit of branching storyline in there, depending on outcomes. Certainly not enough to make it replayable, but you would play through this. It has some puzzles in there that are, I would say, easier than the ones you would find in Time Stories. All of them. Although Time Story scenario typically has less puzzles than what is in here, but the puzzles that are in Time Stories tend to be a little bit more difficult.
Yes, and Time Stories is supposed to be played
multiple times.
At least 2 or 3 times to get the whole thing done. This is supposed to be played once. Which
kind of brings me to the point of, so this box is, at least around our era here, as much as an expansion for Time Stories is in regards to the price. Now, if I had to put my finger on value, and totally subjective from,
it's all opinion here, not dogma.
I'm just trying to put you into the mindset that I am. When I pick up a game for our gaming group, I obviously also kind of consider how much money is that, how many plays do we get out of that, and what are the excitement levels that we get. And while Time Stories is only so often playable, because if you solve the scenario, it's done.
You have to wait 10 years and forget everything to have it be replayable.
It is still the game in our group that gets most people super excited and engaged in going forward.
And gets them even getting to our house in the biggest traffic jam.
Yes.
Not on the weekend, but coming here on Wednesday night or something. It's like the only thing that does that. The only game.
In comparison, I think the excitement was certainly less with this game, and it is way less playtime for the money spent, because obviously you don't play this 3 times, and do you remember how long?
Yes, I do, but I want to talk about that in the experiences.
But it is certainly shorter than what we spend on getting through an entire expansion of Time Storms.
Yes.
Although I think it's fine to spend the money on it, I'm pretty sure we can get rid, so we can find a new home for this game.
Or I mean, one thing, this is really like a game that could travel the world. There's certain games that you give to libraries or to schools or whatever social
I think
things.
Giving
once
this
you have,
to a library might be tempting people's honesty of putting everything back.
No. Like, there's I know of events in other countries in libraries that have like painting things or something like we do at the German YMCA. Kind of a thing that they have games there and they play them with them at the library.
If someone is hosting this for different groups and is removing him or herself from the game, this would also be something that you can pick up. But again, it is almost too light in theme to make it a real event. I mean, it suggests, hey, you can dress up for that and pretend to be in 1869. But I
would actually go more with the Stargazer with this one. You could have something like after school kids, and instead of going home and being alone because the parents are working, you have kind of like a group, you have one of those games, and then you learn, or you go on learning something about the stars, solar system, blah, blah, blah. Have it with a lecture in the end, something that the kids learn. I would definitely tailor this towards any kind of a kids event.
If you have the space, and this might be a totally ridiculous idea, but might work if you are actually in a kind of a group vacation with like a hostel kind of thing, or like
a camping thing going on with many families that all have
what might
younger kids or something.
Add a little bit to this, specifically for kids, if you don't sit down at a table and play this, but actually put one of these envelopes in a dedicated area, like a dedicated room. And if you send people out, hey, now we go there and we can now open up this door. Or
it's like a scavenger hunt with an escape the room thing going on.
Something similar. Yeah. It is actually, I think that's a good point. This game was more a little bit of a scavenger hunt to me from a feeling here than an escape the room game.
Yes. And I think it's because it's supposed to be for kids and not adults. I don't think that... Would this have been tailored towards adults only? I think we would have had a different feel and different puzzles with it, and it would be what we know from escape the room events or something. So
I think I'd say I'd recommend it if you don't mind the price, or if you don't have anything other burning in your hands gaming-wise that you want to get, or if you're at least fine with the idea of having this as a one-play event thing.
Yeah, for a birthday party or something. Because, other events that you have with, say you have 10-year-olds, because it's your kid's 10th birthday and he or she has a party, and they're maybe in winter.
It would be certainly weird if it's the kid's 30th year birthday.
It would be weird. Like, ooh.
But maybe
let's say you have 5 or 8 kids at your house in a winter time that you could only go out either to movies or one of those indoor playgrounds or something. I bet you they cost more than €20 for the whole group. Just saying.
Or if you're having a garden party or something like that.
Yeah, and instead of
renting
the pool or something, you want to have, there's different scenarios I would recommend this for.
And I think that price is fine. It is certainly fine for the components and the quality of the components that are in there. And if you...
and the story that comes with the game. I liked the story that came with the game throughout the game.
I don't mind spending that. I think we got our value out of that. I would have liked a little bit more of a challenge, but
Again, I don't think we are the target group. Let's rate, and I'm rating for the target group, not us. So 1, 2, 3, go. Did you rate for us or the target group?
For as well.
Okay.
So the thing why I deduct points, so to speak, is because this did not feel like an escape the room game to me at all.
Oh. Okay.
I like the puzzles and that's all fine, but that's not what I'm kind of looking for. If something says escape the room, I'm looking for something that has a little bit more, let's say, physical interactivity to it. And maybe
we could play this with you being bound to the chair or something.
No, and maybe I'm super unrealistic here what in regards to the components required, or maybe I'm looking for something like a deluxe version of that. But I would have liked something that at least is a little bit more integrated with an actual room has you moving around a room and interact with things. And I would be super fine if that's really cheap stuff, like a cheap fake cardboard, maybe box that you have to unlock somehow or do something with that. That would be also fine. I would also be totally okay with having to set that up as the host and actually not participating.
And just watching. I liked watching everybody puzzling.
Yeah.
I did on purpose puzzle not that much because but we're going to talk about that in space. But one thing that I wanted to add is, would I have rated for us? I would have also gone like this, but for the target audience, I think the name doesn't matter as much. We associate escape the room with a certain concept. I don't think kids or very young families would. So I don't mind about that. Hence, I didn't deduct any points for it.
This says escape the room on the box.
I don't think an 8-year-old knows what we think about an escape the room.
But an 8-year-old also doesn't go to work, earn money, and buys this game.
Correct.
So this
maybe from the what's it called, allowance.
So the title "Escape the Room" very clearly wants to invoke that feeling from you that this is an escape the room kind of feeling, and while it is very thinly in the story hinted at that you are actually escaping a room, I think this does not live up to the promise that it tries to make. Specifically because it's also called out in the manual saying, hey, you heard of these escape room hype things, and this is not at all what I would...
Yeah, I didn't mind, but I can see where you're coming from.
Let me put it this way. If you are asking me an entry price for escape room, real-life scenario thing, and I enter a room and find these, I'm... I won't be the you're happy customer afterwards, because that's not what I'm looking for in an escape room kind of thing.
Okay.
And as I said, limitations. But other limitations are we actually promised ourselves to have this video being shorter than the other videos.
But we still gotta have the experiences. One thing that I liked, and I wanted to have it in this experience section, because this is going to be the shortest section ever. For one, we played, it took us, Shall we say how long it took us?
We had ample of time left.
Yeah. Ample of time. So this game is definitely not for us. Anyway, what I wanted to say is I enjoyed a lot watching the group puzzle while I didn't puzzle. I just overlooked.
To give you an idea, we certainly needed more than 20 minutes, but we certainly did not need 90 minutes to get through this thing.
But yeah, I enjoyed a lot Tina and Valentin doing the puzzling at one of the scenarios, and me just watching. Like, in my mind, it's like, yeah, this goes there, this goes there. So let's see how long they take.
So
I enjoyed that a lot because I didn't want to just alpha puzzle through the scenario.
Sarah tries to say that she's that kind of dickish player at the table, saying, "I knew it all along how to solve those puzzles."
No, that one puzzle they were puzzling, it did play to how I see the world.
Meaning, it consisted mostly of door frames, and Sarah was trying not to run into them.
Kinda. No, I just enjoyed myself just sitting there watching. You were saying earlier you would host this game and would enjoy that. Yeah. I would definitely do too, because I enjoyed just watching you guys puzzle, and we kind of rotated the puzzle, so every time one person was kind of like the major puzzler and the others helping, stuff like that. And he was the story reader again, so that was a lot of fun as well. And I enjoyed that very, very much. And that's all that you're going to get of the experiences. Otherwise, you have to have the game on your own. One thing that we're going to do, though, is tease, because we're doing that every week.
Undressed? Or?
Oh, no. Later, babe. Let me put on the camera first. No, draw for initiative.
Oh, the other tease, yes.
I'm not going to do his hair. I'm not going to tease there. Don't worry. He's not going to have a pretty bow in his very gray hair. So, draw for initiative. Next week, we will paint a new game. Let me tell you kind of-ish what's the next game. So, it's about animals.
Trivial Pursuit.
In a very hot...
Monopoly.
Scenario.
Some cooking game.
No. Oh, that was a good thing too. No, that would have been the other game. Oh, no. I could... No, it's not that game.
Animals in a hot scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a scenario where time is of utmost importance? Like a race?
No.
Okay. Animals.
Small animals.
Small animals. Now I have to...
It's a very hot and sudden thing that happens there. Kind of violent too.
Is it a game about fighting fire? I don't think...
No, but fire is there. But more like in the aftermath, not the main thing.
Huh. Does it come with a specialty box?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then let me check. Yeah, I got it right.
Mm-hmm. Did you get it right? Did you know what it was on the Gamer's Couch? So maybe go through all the episodes, watch all of them, and see if somehow those hints did go along with one of the games. If you're just not having the time for that, just come back on Wednesday 9 a.m. CET and find out which game it is. Until then, I'd say we will wrap up and say goodbye. Not you, not to me. Have fun, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Also, give us a thumbs up if you like this video. if you're new to the channel, well, hit that subscribe button and come back to the videos because it really helps. And if you want to send this to a friend and say, hey, there are two very weird folks on the internet that do talk board games, well, share this video so that they know. Just saying, giving you very important tips there. And we're going to see you next Sunday with a new game and on Wednesday with painting board games. And I will see you, ouch, my wrist. I will see you in the hospital now throughout the week with very many art videos. So, say bye, honey.
Good meow.
Bye. That was another teaser.